Let's see if you guys can figure out what this video is going to be about. Oh, did you guys hear it? If you didn't have the trained eye or the trained ear, I guess I'll start it again, let you guys hear what we're talking about. That is what I lovingly refer to as a death rattle. So welcome back to the Longway YouTube channel. My name is Bucky. Today we're going to be working on a question mark. We don't really know what's wrong yet, but we're going to pull this thing apart. Whatever's wrong, we're going to fix it. So hang on for the ride. Here we go. Alright everybody, based on a little bit of work that's been done to it, I've had the top of the motor apart, and we've kind of determined that it's going to be something in the timing change. This has a dual overhead cam with phasers. It's a 2011 GMC Terrain with a 3.0 liter V6. These are notorious for having timing issues. The problem with this one is I've had it apart before. We've had the entire motor, transmission, the whole K-member pulled down. I don't know if it's a K-member or not, but the entire engine cradle pulled off. Also, we didn't change the phasers. So I'm assuming that's what we got to deal with now. We've got two ways to do this. We can get it on the lift and drop the K-member out. We've got everything we need to do that. I'm being told in my research that we can do it with it in the car. So we're going to try to do that first. And if these big meat bags get in the way, I might go ahead and just drop the whole thing so it's a little bit quicker to deal with. But we're going to take you guys along for the ride. Now, this is not meant to be a tutorial to tell you guys how the professionals do it. Lord knows I'm not a professional. I'm just going to wing it and figure out what the problem is and get it fixed. The folks that have this car need it back, and they don't need to spend a whole lot of money, so I'm going to help them out with that. So first thing we're going to do is get it on the lift, get it in the air, and get the oil out of it, and then we'll go from there. Buckle up. Here we go. Yep, let's get this party started. You can tear this whole car apart with a 10 or 13. Your cover just pops off. Take the oil cap with it. And what I'll do is I'll set these up. Everything I put off, I'll put in order. From right to left, I'll come back, do another round right to left until I get all the parts out. And that's how I make sure I get everything back together in the right order, and that's bolts and all. So that's how we do it, all together, left to right. What? Excuse me, right to left. I know what I'm saying. Another thing I try to do is I'll put the bolts back where they came out. That way you don't have to remember them all. That might be enough light for you guys. I don't know, we'll see. I like having a bolt tray while I'm tearing stuff apart, but then I also, like I said, like to put everything kind of back where it came from. I'm gonna see if I can't round up some better light so you guys can see a little better. Well, I'd say we got light now. You guys ought to be able to see now, no excuses. Alrighty, let's do this thing. Alright, so we got these two unhooked. We're gonna go ahead and take the 10 mils out there and there. In there so we can get this air box off. We'll take all of these plumbing fittings off here, here, and here, and then we will be well on our way. Another thing to have handy is a magnet. That way when you get these ones out, you can just grab them with a magnet. Alright, there's that all off as an assembly. Quick and easy. Walk it back, put it in a pile. Take your bolts, put them back where you got them. That way you don't end up with a bucket full of bolts and no idea where they go back. This is a whole lot easier way to do it. Little hose clamp back here to get to. See it right there. See if we can get it out without having to tear the whole world apart here. Sometimes even with the right tool, you can't beat a pair of channel locks. There's that. Alright, that's everything there. That's what we'll do now is pull that intake off. There we go. That is an intake off. I'm going to show you guys the most important hack of this entire thing. You don't learn anything else from me on this little escapade, please learn this. Those little holes right there go to the center of the universe. If you drop anything in one of those little holes, you can't get it out, you're going to be pulling the motor apart. So, in this case, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. We're going to shove rags in these holes. Some people will tape them, they'll put tape all in them, but I'm just going to use rags. There we go. Alright, now let's go ahead and get the spark plugs loose. We've got a little lock right here. I'm going to slide that little lock up without breaking nothing. I'm going to push that down and pull that off. Bob's your uncle. Now, let's go ahead and get the wiring done. So we're going to start right back here and do this bulkhead here. Like I forgot one little hose back here. It's got one of those little side clips on it. I think you just twist it to the side and pick it up. Yep, that's it. Alright. That takes this little one off. I'm going to take it and go put it with the pile. Let's go ahead and get these wires picked up and out of the way. I'll go ahead and just take this bulkhead connector here and pull it around this little air conditioning line. You guys are so nosy in the middle of everything. Alright, that is nice and out of the way. Alright, I finally got all the wires loose. We're going to start pulling the valve covers off now. So, there we go. Alright. Get everything right, that'll be it. Oh, one more. Uno mas, pour flavor. Alright, I think that's everything we need to do on the top side. I think this is some pretty good progress here for the top. Got that done in just a little over, I think, an hour, maybe 45 minutes. That one little wire right down there, you guys can see it right there. I gotta get it loose, but there ain't no way to get to it without taking that engine cover off, which means you gotta remember to put the damn thing back on before you put the engine mount back on. So, all right, now we're doing a little bit of shady shit. We gotta support this motor. There's not a really good way to do it. The proper tool is not something I want to go buy. So we're going to do it like this. Right. That ought to be enough to hold her. Alright, so we're getting the water drained out of it. We're going to go ahead and get this upper radiator hose off and get this piece pulled out, get the thermostat out so we've got access to that. Then we're going to pull the water pump out. So I don't know how much of that we're going to have to pull, how much of that water we're going to have to let out, but I'm going to let most of it drain because I don't want to make a mess in the floor. So right, we're going to let it drain out, and then we'll go ahead and pull the thermostat housing out, get the crank harmonic balancer off, and then get the water pump out. So we'll knock those out, and then which is pretty simple, straightforward. So this is the water pump, we'll get it out, and this is the neck for the thermostat housing and the water. So that's pretty straightforward, so I'll bring you guys back when we get that done. Well, I would call that a failure. I had it drained for a good long time, but I didn't have it drained long enough. Now we got some draining going on. It is a brand new water pump that I just put on it, not 20,000 miles ago. So it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happened. Again, we're going to put all of our nuts back, or our bolts back where they go, so we don't have to remember where they go. If you don't learn anything else from this, learn that. I know I got to take the crank harmonic balancer off, and then we got to take these bolts here out of the alternator. So let's go ahead and get that done. And maybe it'll do what we want to do. Alternator bolt. I'm gonna see if I can jack up the car enough to get this tensioner out. I'll need but about another half an inch. Yahtzee! Got that. Yeah, let's go ahead in there and get that harmonic balancer off, and then we'll be able to start pulling off this main cover. So, now that we've made a hell of a mess down here with the water, I think this is what we need to pull that off with. Alright, let's see if we can get this harmonic balancer off without too much struggle. It's going to be almost possible to show you guys how this works. Almost impossible here. gonna see if I can jack up the car enough to get this tensioner out. I'll need but about another half an inch. Let me go ahead and lay down in this water so I can get nice and dirty. Alrighty, we're getting close. Alrighty, I got her on there now. So kind of what you got to do is you get up in behind with those three teeth, those three claws, to get in behind there and grab it, and then you got to get it inside of this piece of tin, and then you turn it. So let me go get the right size wrench, which I think is a 3/4, and we'll get that sucker pulled off. Yeah, at least it's in there nice and tight. Oh, here we go. She made that noise. Guess I need a longer shaft. Story of my life. Alright, we're going to pause this for a minute. I'm going to get it off and I'll come back. It's just going to be a pain in the butt. Well, finally, after all that hem-hawing around, I had to bend this little nut right here up. I don't know if you guys can see that. I had to bend it up quite a bit because it was right in the way of the center line of the crankshaft dampener. So I got it off, used the right tool. It just took forever. So now we're ready to start moving the bolts off of the actual housing. So I'm going to clean everything up a little bit. We're going to start pulling these bolts out. And then I'm probably going to be about done for the night. I just want to get this thing cracked open so I can kind of see what's wrong with it. So, all right, let's get on to the next thing, which is starting to take these bolts out. I think there's like 9,000 of them. So we're going to get after it. Alright, one thing you guys can learn, you can take right here, there's a little hole right here, and it's just a threaded hole that goes all the way in and busts up against the block, and you can use it to break it out and break it loose once you got them all off. Now there's one bolt right back behind here that's almost impossible to see. You got to feel it, and that's the one that was hiding from me, so I was trying to pry it off real careful, and you find out real quick that it's not going to come off. So I got that one out, and I think we've got it to where it'll come out now. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, we're moving. Here we go. Well, now it's time to see what the heck was wrong with it. Let's get the light, get the eyeball in here and see what was making that bad noise. Oh wow, that's bad. The secondary chain is loose. You guys see all that slack? Maybe you can't have to get down below before you can see it, but it is loose. I don't know how it just all of a sudden does that. It's quite a bit of slack. I wonder what made that happen. I guess that's the smoking gun, but it seems to me like it'd be making a hell of a lot more than just that. Well, I think that's where we're going to stop it for tonight. I think that's not, I don't know if that's a smoking gun or not, but that's definitely supposed to be tighter than that. I don't know how it just lets go all at once, but I'll probably get to looking at it tomorrow and find something else. But for tonight, that's enough for now. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All right, guys, so we've got it figured out. This tensioner over here that we looked at a while ago is bad, and it's causing our clicking sound. Now, I put all of this stuff in short of the phasers whenever we did the last round on this. So we're going to go ahead and spend the money and replace everything. Phasers, solenoids, switches, all of it. We're going to go ahead and replace everything so we don't have any more questions about this engine. It's got dual overhead cam timing chains. So we've got primary and secondary timing that we have to worry about. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to time this side and get the locks. There's cam locks that go on the back. I'm going to show you what those look like. We're going to get this set, get the cam locks in, and then we'll leave that like that, and then we'll come over here, we'll take the chain. There's a middle chain that has to come off down there. This one has to come off, and then we're going to set the timing on this, which is, I think it's stage 1 and stage 2, or primary and secondary. Then we'll come over here and set this one, and we'll put this chain on first, then we'll put this chain, which has balancers behind it, and then we'll finish up with this one. So that's the steps. Once we get everything pulled out, we'll clean the motor real good and get everything ready to go back together, because you don't want to end up with a water leak or an oil leak. And then we'll go over here to the timing chain cover over here, and we'll get it all cleaned up and ready to go. I've got a brand new coils precision timing components kit that comes complete with both exhaust and intake phasers. The thing that broke, which was our tensioner, 3 tensioners, 3 sprockets, 3 chains, and then the guides, and these are the solenoids that actuate the variable valve timing. I also have more water, an oil change, and spark plugs, just for good measure, because we're already in there that deep. We also have, these are the cam locks I was telling you about, that are going to lock the camshafts on top of the motor so we don't lose our timing while we're messing around under the hood. So that being said, we're going to go ahead and get started getting the new components put in here, and we'll get started getting this put together. I don't think I like that. Too easy to mess something up. How's your hearing?
Not like an old one.
Make it worse. One. Well, 3 of them come out. 4th one broke. Here you go. I believe that is everything. Cleaned out and ready to put back together. Alright, here we go back in. We're going to start with the crankshaft bushing, or crankshaft seal. These are the seals for the actuators or the solenoids. I'd be damned if I didn't put that one in backwards.
Funky, butt loving.
Yeah? I just put this one on backwards. Damn it. Damn sure did. I was just hammering stuff in. Alright, so when you're looking at these, there's a skinny side, there's a fat side. And this side with the little notches in it is the skinny side. And the skinny side goes to the inside to keep the oil out. Or keep the oil in. So those little notches right there that you guys can see, those notches go to the inside. Alright. So let's get this one put in the right way. Alright. Inside to hold meat back, or the oil back. Put a little bit of oil on this to show you guys how this goes. This is one of those solenoids that make the cam phasers work. Like that. You look in there, it's sealed up nice and tight on that little mating surface. So if you get those backwards, it'll let the oil run out. So glad we caught that. Gotta get this on there now. Little titty goes right in there. And like that. I think for the most part that timing chain cover is done. So we're going to go over and start working on the car. Now one thing you want to make sure you do down here in the bottom of the oil pan is stuff it full of rags. So if you drop something like a bolt or a piece of trash, it don't go in the oil pan. And we've already got to drain the water out of the oil pan where it ran in there where we took the water pump out. But this right here will keep all the trash out. Alright guys, it's the next morning. I did a little bit of work without you. I went ahead and got the timing locks put on. There, I don't know if you can see those little pieces of metal. That little piece of metal back there that's got that blocked, I got it locked in with a clamp. I've got the chain off of there, and we found the tensioner here is pretty much shot. I can work it with my fingers and it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Now what we're going to do, now that we've got stage, I don't know if it's stage 1 or section 1 or period 1, the timing is set for that set of chains. We're going to take, I know it's hard for you guys to see down there, but we're going to take the secondary, I'm calling it the secondary. This is the chain that runs between the two balancers here and goes down around the crankshaft. We're going to take it off, and then we've already got this one here set, and it's set timed right. You got your marks here. If you guys can see that mark right there, and this mark right there, that mark right there. Those two marks are there, and then if you count the links on the marks, it's 12 or 10 between them. And then when you come back here on the camshafts, if you guys can see this or not, but the camshafts are perfectly flat. So these flats right here, that one and that one, you can set a level on them. They're perfectly flat. So that means this side is in time. So both sides are in their respective time. We've got that chain in the back off, and we're going to take the chain that hooks the chains together. I think it's called the secondary. I don't know. I'll double check and get it on there. And then we're going to take this one off. So we're going to get all this off, clean the front, put it all back together, and get it tied. So next thing we're gonna do is pull the chains off here, second set of chains, and then we'll take the third set of chains and tensioners off. We'll get all that done and start cleaning it up. Yeehaw! Alrighty, now let's get the chain off. Alright, we've got everything laid out here on the table in order. This is the firewall side. This is the chains that run them both. I guess this is the secondary chain. And this is the front chain on the front one. So we've got the phasers out. Everything's ready to go back in. We've got all of our parts and our fluids over here ready to go back in. Next thing's next, we're going to come in here and get this motor cleaned up. Get all of the surfaces cleaned off and get it ready to take the parts back in. We've got the back in perfect time. We've got the front in perfect time. We've got the crankshaft where it needs to be, pointing in the right position. So we're ready to get this thing cleaned up and get it put back together. Alright, I have spent about 45 minutes cleaning, polishing, buffing, scratching, scraping to get this front of this motor completely spick and span clean. So this is the most important part, you know, beside getting it in time when you put it back together, is getting it clean, because there's probably 7 or 8 places here where it can leak oil and water. So take your time here, clean this up really, really good, so that when you put it back together, you don't have oil leaks. Got this part done. We're fixing to start assembly and putting everything back together. We're going to start with the crankshaft pulley or sprocket, and then we will put the right or the front bank together. We'll put the secondaries down at the bottom together, and then we'll put the one on the left or the closest to the firewall together. So let's get this thing back together. All right, guys, we're going to stop the video right there. We're kind of at the midpoint of getting everything put together, and the video's getting kind of long. So we're going to cut the video there. We're going to make it into 2 parts. You guys might not notice, but on the front part of this video, I really don't have the vocabulary down for what the primary and secondary chains are and what stage 1 and stage 2 timing is. I did throw a picture in there that kind of showed where the primary and secondary chains were. So let me just try to clear that up right quick. You have stage 1 timing and stage 2 timing. Stage 1 timing is when you have the front part of the motor in time. Stage 2 timing is whenever you have the back part of the motor in time. One's at 5 o'clock, one's at 8 o'clock. And then you have primary chain, which is the chain that hooks both of them together. You have the secondary chains, which are the ones that go up and run to the camshafts. Also, the little turners in the bottom that's on the primary chain, they're not balancers, they're called idlers. So there's a few things that I kind of clear up whenever we go into getting the motor in time. But we're going to do that in the next video. If you guys are finding value in this video, come on, help me out. Smash that like button. Even if you don't like what I'm doing, leave a comment. Try to make these things really fun for you guys to watch, but I'm always open to advice. So smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Keep between the ditches.